Yeah, give me a second. Got the live boxing talks going. I'm going to just post the link for the people on Twitter. All right. Live boxing talks. Give me a second. All right, everybody. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Post your flag. Where you from? Where you at? What are you doing? Right. There's a couple of angles of this story I wanted to get into. The angles that I didn't cover in the video. And I already prepared another video about it, which I'm probably more than likely gonna upload tomorrow. The other angles of this I wanted to talk about are the stable of the PBC stable. I was goody Angel, was goody JBN, Thrash Attack, Carlos, George in the building, Kid, East Los is in the building, Rusty Taylor, AJJJJ, ay, Luis Mosqueda, que lo que es, Felipe Percha en el building, ya tú sabes, Lydia, all the way from the BX, the Boogie Down Bronx is in the building, Mexico, Bakersfield, California, no party. You know what I'm saying? And there's angles of this story that I didn't get to touch on in the video I uploaded. I have so much to say about this, which is why I want to sort of delegate which subjects I did explore live with a panel and what I put in a video. I already touched on what I think they should have did. The angle of this that I really want to touch on is, it's like, how do people not see that this is a bad product? That it's like, yo, it's a bad product. That if you're Fox and, you know, Errol Spence Jr., and I said this part in the video, I wanted to touch on this and elaborate upon it, that Errol Spence Jr., when they entered into that deal in September of 2018, you could tell that they wanted to build on him, feel me? They wanted to build on him. Like, they wanted him to be sort of like the centerpiece of the deal. They were very much invested in that fighter. And since then, what has happened? You know what I mean? After the car crash, the man didn't fight for 12 months. So he's not doing nothing for your business. He's not bringing you no numbers. When you do send him out there, the numbers that he bring you is mediocre. Like, a lot of people don't want to admit that shit, and I don't know why, but no, 200 or a little over 200,000 bars, that ain't shit. That ain't shit. Them UFC guys put up bigger numbers than that all the time, but y'all want to talk about it. Them UFC guys, they was doing business last year in the pandemic. They was selling. So when you turn around and you try to say that Spence is a star because he put up 200 and change on pay-per-view, you know what I mean? So you got a dude after the Porter fight, when his stock was at an all-time high, more or less, he doesn't fight for 12 months. He loses all of that momentum. You send him out, and he brings you less buys than he brought you the last two times. It's like, how do you not see that from 360 to 350, which was really 277, but people want to believe that Porter versus Spence did 350. No, it's 277. That's what it did. From 360 to 277 to 225, and y'all not seeing that? Like, yo, dog, if you Fox, what am I going to be spending money on y'all for? I could put on Seinfeld reruns in that slot, and it'll bring me more views than y'all bringing me. And it'll probably cost me less money. It's a lot of common sense shit. Donovan was good. Micah was good. Joaquin was good. Liam Rockwell in the building. Alejandro, Errol Spence, and Davis will fill up an entire 7-Eleven. Shout out to Alejandro. Shout out to Alejandro, my man in Mexico. Karma was good. I'm trying to watch the Muhammad Ali doc right now. Karma, go ahead and watch it. You can always catch this. You could catch the playback, man. You could catch the playback. I ain't going nowhere. Spence no trae la mula y cuesta. Bueno, esta es la vaina, Ángel. Él no cuesta mucho. De verdad, él no cuesta mucho porque él no es una estrella. Ese tipo no es estrella. Porque tú traes, este país es más grande que el diablo. 330-something million people in this country, and not even a million of them are interested in buying your pay-per-view. Ahí es que se sabe que ese tipo no es estrella. If you can't hit decent numbers like 3 and 4 on your own, no, you're not a motherfucking star. You're not. I've been saying that shit for years. So if you Fox, you have a stable of fighters that people aren't interested in or are too inactive to gain any momentum so that people will be interested in them, it's not a surprise that they'll look at a Canelo fight and say, look, that's too risky for us. We've been putting on your pay-per-views and they not doing nothing special. Y'all wanted to put Ruiz versus Arreola on pay-per-view. Y'all wanted to put Spence versus Danny Garcia on pay-per-view. Y'all wanted to put Wilder versus Fury 2 on pay-per-view. And not none of that shit is making us no bread. That shit not making us no bread. So what we gonna keep pouring money down the drain for y'all for? I dig it, Micah. Jay St. Peter and Caleb Plant insisted that he wanted it right here. Exactly, right? Look, y'all remember, do y'all remember before Wilder left Showtime, Showtime gave him a financial package to compensate him for the money that he didn't take from DAZN, because DAZN wanted to give him $20 million to fight Dominic Breazeale on their side of the street, right? So he doesn't take it. We all know that. And Showtime gave this dude something like maybe 13, 14 million, something around there. Only so that the very next fight, which was the Luis Ortiz fight, he could go to fucking Fox. And the narrative was, oh nah, I'm not gonna fight on DAZN. I'm loyal to Showtime. Then why the fuck you went to Fox? Your next fight after that was on Fox. And it flopped. And the one after that, that one flopped too. It's like, yo, dude, like, the writing is on the wall, B. Like, it's on the wall. Like, yo, I've been telling y'all, them cats is not doing good over there. I'm telling you, they not doing good over there. They not. In order for Bat's Pants to be a star, he needed to fight Crawford. And when because that's what would have did it. I say that all the time, that at the height of that fight's popularity, they didn't want to listen to the consumers. They didn't want to listen to me and you. Me and you told them we want Crawford and Spence. They wanted to give us Crawford versus Mikey Garcia. And you still got dumb fucks out there that'll try to just make excuses. Like, yo, dog, that's what we was asking for. We, at its base, right? Because let's just cut through the bullshit. We buy the fights. Y'all motherfuckers don't. What you say and what you think don't fucking matter. It only matters if you buy the fights. And we can see that not only do you not buy the fights, some of these shits, y'all don't even fucking watch them. Some of these shits. Shit is wild out here, man. ESJ Ugas fight happens now that Spence is saying he healthy. Until he's medically cleared, we won't know. I'll tell you what, if he's healthy, that's very suspicious, because they said that he might be out 6 months to a year. 6 months to a year. How could PBC agree to that fight not knowing which network it would be shown? I think, well, let's put it this way. We know that Fox was initially a part of that conversation because Eddie Hearn said it was between DAZN and Fox. They were the two outfits that wanted to host the fight. So at some point, Fox was in that conversation. Now, what happened since then? Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas happened. And what did that fight do? 250,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, that was not a $50 million fight, right? That was not a $50 million fight. But you turn around, all right, so we supposed to put 50 mil up plus other operational costs, and these is the type of numbers y'all be putting up, though. Like, yeah, I know Canelo's a cash cow, all of that. This is $50 million, though. Y'all want us to put that up, and this is what you've been doing for the last 2 years. Nah, we good. We'll pass on that. Especially when you know the deal about to be up this year. Why would you decide to spend that much if you know that the deal about to be up this year? Make it make sense. Does that make sense? Yeah, I know the contract about to expire this year, right? And y'all been underperforming the whole 2 years, like the last 2 years, y'all been underperforming. But let's go ahead and spend $50 million. Is it sus though in reality? Who officially said Spence eye injury was going to keep him out 6 to 12 months? I'm pretty sure that wasn't speculation. That was based on the injury that he had. He said he has a detached retina. That's not some shit where you just hop back in the ring 3 months later. A detached retina? Al Heyman will try to finagle a situation wherein Fox would probably renew. We'll see if he can, because we don't know that they're not. I've been saying it throughout. It could be, it could be that they're just passing on this fight, because the way it's being interpreted is that they're not going to renew because they didn't pick up this fight. Another part of the reason that people feel like they might not renew is they don't have a fall schedule. There's no fall schedule. Remember when Showtime released the schedule? I was goody boxing on edge. I appreciate that, bro. Remember when Showtime released the schedule of all the fights they were going to show? You know, from Benavidez Uzcategui, Figueroa versus Neri, Figueroa versus, or the winner of Figueroa versus Neri versus Stephen Fulton. They released the whole schedule of fights they was gonna have. Fox didn't do that. Fox didn't release no schedule. Out of the clear blue sky, they pop up with Pacquiao versus Spence, which turns into Pacquiao versus Ugas. We already knew about the stupid Wilder Fury trilogy, but that's 2 fights. That's all that is. That's 2 fights. That's not a schedule. A whole catalog of fights that span 2 to 3 months. They never came out with one. So between Fox not putting out a schedule and them not picking up this fight, a lot of people feel like they're not going to renew because that's how it looks. I was goody big boy boxing. It hasn't even been a month. There's no way he's healthy and ready to fight. I took his word for what it is. Look, Karma, I said this when the injury was first reported, that beware if he miraculously recovers in a short amount of time. Because if he does, that shit fuck around is fake. But if it does take him 6 months to a year to come back, then you'll know it's real. All right. So if he comes back too fast, it's suspicious. If he stays out a while, all right, this dude was legit injured. It's a detached retina. You could lose your fucking eyesight. It ain't the kind of thing you play with that you gonna just jump back into. Like, bro, you just had a detached retina and you got the retina detached in sparring. You gonna go right back out there. Something ain't right. Remember, Bernard Hopkins was suspicious. I'll use your imagination. Otto Wallin is not a PBC fighter. He's a Dimitri Salita fighter. Micah, I feel like you being a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian. You don't have to speculate on what was reported because it wasn't a speculation. They said in plain English, detached retina. We thought that it was a torn retina. The last we heard, no, it was a detached retina. That's what they said. All right. So what you need to do is jump on Google and see what and look up the shit. Don't argue about it. Just look up the shit. Abner Mares hasn't. That's what I'm trying to. Thank you. Actual facts. Thank you. This is why I said that. If you telling me that he has a detached retina and he hopped right back in the ring, that don't make sense. And y'all told us he has a detached retina. Y'all told us he might sit out 6 months to a year. Y'all said that. You don't detach a retina and then hop right back in. Abner hasn't been back since. He's unofficially retired. You think they would have done the fight if Fury Wilder 3 wasn't going on? I think it's a few things. One, I think it's all the things I talked about. Two, I think that they're oversaturating the market. All right. In October, you have Lopez versus Cambosos pay-per-view. Wilder versus Fury 3 pay-per-view. Crawford versus Porter, pay-per-view. And now and then we're gonna put on a pay-per-view, Canelo versus Plant, the same day as a UFC pay-per-view. It's they bugging. I said this like, yo, y'all bugging out. Who the fuck you think gonna buy all this shit? Y'all bugging out. Appreciate that, Drew. Heavy duty, Carlito. These next pay-per-views in America are crucial. CBS really think they will make money off this Canelo Plant pay-per-view. Jules, let's be real. Showtime is also on the clock. Yo, you ain't missed nothing, bro. We shooting the shit on that shit right now. I'm like, Fox is a bigger network than Showtime. So Showtime can't bear the brunt of this. CBS, their parent company, is going to have to help them out. They are going to have to help promote this thing because Showtime numbers ain't been shit. The last 2 years, they ain't been shit. Luis Mosquero says Tank is about to turn 27. Bruh, and they still talk about him like he wears a pamper. And he about to be 20. I'm glad you said that. For those that don't know, that man is about to be 27 years old. Ain't been in a 50-50 fight yet. But they talk about him like he wears a fucking pamper. Rolly versus... Yo, dog, it's wild. It's wild out here, man. They talk about Tank like he a little boy that need to be fed. You know what I'm saying? That's how they talk about Tank. Like he a little boy that he can't. He 27, bro. Wilfredo Benitez was 17 years old when he first fought for a title. Mike Tyson was 20 when he fought Trevor Berbick. Fucking Floyd, he was younger than Tank is today when he fought Gennaro. And they still talk about Tank like he a baby. Tank is a 7-year pro. Thank you. Yo, he almost been in the game 10 years, B. In any other pro sport, that's a seasoned veteran who qualifies for a pension, but Tank is still a kid. Exactly. And you let Leonard Ellerbe tell it, oh, he is star. Bro, it's 330-something million people in this country, and 1 million of them didn't buy your boy fight. So no, he's not a star. 500,000 of them didn't buy his fight. What age range would you consider a fighter's prime? I'm glad you asked, Deed. The rule of thumb I use is between 25 and 33, and performance. Performance is important because Canelo Alvarez's prime years, for example, 25, 20, let's say 25 years old. From 25 onward, biologically, these are your best years as a man. You're coming into, or you already have your grown man strength. So between those things and your ability, which is not just your anatomical prime, but your abilities as a boxer to perform, the rule of thumb would be between age 25 and age, let's say 33 to 34 or 35. Those are your quote unquote prime years, that if you're in your prime, it would be there. Lisa Ball's in the building. Salute Martin, salute Eparoqua. You know what I'm saying? But those would be your prime years, Deed. It would be between 25 and let's say 35. But everything is all downhill after 35, usually, because that's when you start to lose muscle tone. That's when your metabolism starts to slow down. That's when it's harder to cut weight. You keep more weight on you after 35. So your prime years is between 25 and 35. Jules, are you serious? Logic-based Capricorn cynicism. What's the worst case scenario when all these US pay-per-views don't perform? What does that do to American boxing going forward, CBS and ESPN? Honestly, the market will shrink. You know, and I don't view that as being drastic. The amount of money that networks are willing to pour into boxing will shrink, and the talent pool will suffer for it as a result of that. Less money, less shows, less fight dates, less talent. and they only have themselves to blame. The American boxing scene here will shrink. If something dramatic doesn't happen, yeah, it'll shrink. But if you want my honest opinion, I think that Al Heyman should try to jump into bed with DAZN. I honestly think he should do that. That'll solve a lot of problems. Boxing has to stop trying to divide itself. We don't need that. A house divided cannot stand. You need to work together. If you don't want to work, if you don't want to merge with Eddie and DAZN, fine. Go to ESPN then. Merge with Bob. Go over there and make fights with Top Rank. You have to do this because boxing ain't gonna go nowhere as a sport. No, it ain't gonna go nowhere. Boxing is gonna be okay, but will American boxing be okay? Because that's what we're talking about. And if you done been on NBC and FS1 and Spike and Fox, and you still not doing good, you still not getting a long-term commitment from these other platforms, all right, you're gonna make boxing look like a bad investment to all these different networks that's out there. Where y'all gonna pop up next? The History Channel, the Cooking Channel? Where y'all gonna pop up next? Because that's how it's like y'all hop from network to network, blow a budget, bring in bad ratings, and then move on to the next network. Y'all motherfuckers is like Galactus. You suck up all the shit and then move to the next world. Don Ricardo, shout out to Don. Wait, let me read through. We got a lot coming through. JBN says, how come UFC and WWE has a pay-per-view every month? It's not the quantity, it's the quality, bro. And the PBC fights quality suck. I'm gonna say this, JBN. It's a lot more simple than that. The UFC and the WWE listen to their consumers. Boxing in America, not in other countries, in America, boxing does not. You can have WWE pay-per-views because they give their customers what they're asking for. You can do the same thing with the UFC because they give their customers what they're asking for. We as boxing fans asked for Spence versus Crawford 3 years ago, and we didn't get it. That's why it is the way it is. Only buying the Bud versus Port. Yep, same here, bro. I'm not buying Wilder versus Fury, bro. I'm not buying no Davis fights. I'm not buying Wilder versus Fury. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to get Lopez versus Kambosos. What do you think of DAZN buying BT Sport? Jules, bet you Fox misses. Of course they miss the UFC. Of course. Of course. I hate to say it because I'm not an MMA fan, but Dana gives his fans and his subscribers and his consumer base what they want. He doesn't deprive them of it. He doesn't try to milk it. You know what I mean? And that's what every box, well, not even every, because Bob didn't fuck up Taylor versus Ramirez. He gave us that. Bob didn't fuck up Lopez versus Lomachenko. He gave us that. It's only one other outfit in America that is fucking shit up. And the reason that it stands out so much is because this is a major outfit that has major promotion, that has major network deals. You talking about an outfit that has a network with a deal with two different networks, Fox and Showtime. And this is the outfit that don't want to fucking give people what they want. The one that has two platform deals. That's why everything is fucked up. Dana White hates Stephen Espinoza like he does Arum. Jules, he will take it personal to. Of course he will, bro. It's been personal. It's been personal. The shit with Dana and Bob, the shit with Dana and Stephen Espinoza, he don't like none of them dudes, bro. I almost think it's deliberate that they put that pay-per-view on that day. I almost think that was like a fuck you. Like, we don't give a shit about no Canelo Alvarez. We gonna do our pay-per-view when we gonna do our pay-per-view, and y'all just gotta eat that. And once again, American boxing only has itself to blame. It only has itself to blame. Every fight is not a mega fight. Every fight does not need to be fucking marinated. Every fighter in your stable, no, some of them guys ain't even fucking $2 million fighters. But you got them running around thinking they 2 and 3. Like, yo, why y'all doing all that for Caleb Plant? That dude is not even a $5 million fighter. Why y'all doing all that for that dude? That shit don't make no sense. Y'all gonna do all this shit for this dude and exhaust all these resources for a dude that ain't even a $5 million fighter, never sold a pay-per-view a day in his life. Send that motherfucker over to the zone. That's what y'all should have did. But y'all a bunch of fucking bozos and y'all greedy and y'all like, yo, really? Y'all not made to have no Canelo fight. Y'all not made for, y'all don't have it. Y'all not made for that. It's real shit out here, B. Now I'm gonna open up the panel to everybody, and we gonna get it popping in this bitch. Get Alexis on here, and we gonna shoot the shit. Cause y'all know if me and Alexis love shooting the shit about any subject, it's PBC. In 5 years, they have single-handedly fucked up the American boxing scene. And no, it's not. But I know people want to look at it like, no, it's tit for tat. And Bob didn't do shit but what Bob do. Bob put on fights. Bob will keep it real with you. If you're not a motherfucking star, you're not a star, and I'm not gonna pay you or go broke trying to pay you because you think you a star. You gonna get out there and you gonna find out that you're not a star, like Teofimo is right now. You was on the way to being a motherfucking star. You was on the way, and you fucked that up. Listen, man, I don't motherfucking know Snow Queen, bro. You got to talk to Ellie about that. Yo, whatever happened to Ring IQ Boxing Talk? It's still up there. I just don't like arguing with motherfuckers for free. If I'm going to argue with a motherfucker, I'm going to make some goddamn money. You want my time. Yo, you got to echo, Virtuoso.
I'll fix it.
PBC did give us Charlo versus Castano. The problem is, Boxer, and I do agree with you because I gave him props for that too. They didn't make us wait for that fight, right? They didn't make us wait for the Rosario fight, and they didn't make us wait for the Castano fight. And I do applaud them for that. I do applaud them for that. But they waited too long to start operating that way. We should have got Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz a long time ago. We should have got Spence versus Crawford a long time ago. It's a lot of fights like that we should have got them already. You can't wait because boxing as a sport is too unpredictable. If you got a good fight right now that's buzzing, you need to make it right now. You can't wait. This shit is wild how
You
much.
know,
Go ahead, Virtuoso.
as I lay down here, man, I'm watching Sunday Night Football, and I see you guys jump on live, man. I needed to chime on in on this topic because I've expressed this thing. I don't know since I don't know how long, since 2017, right? That's when I started like giving up on the whole business model that they had going about the free fights thing, you know, and started more on Showtime. Hold on one second.
I got you. Let me read
So
this super
yeah,
chat. Let me just read the super chat. Hit the only Sanch if y'all want to program a merch from AJ versus Usyk. I'll be going. Yeah, for those that don't know, Sancho is going to the United Kingdom for AJ versus Usyk. Y'all hit him up for the merchandise. Yo, post videos, B. If you see people over there, post videos of that shit. Now go ahead, Virtuoso.
nah, it's just it's like I said, man. It's like cold product, man. You can't just let it go to waste. You can't let things just marinate. You know, all this preservation tactics. It's like coming back to bite them in the ass. I've already laid it out for people, that listen to this, to these lives. It's like, yo, you got to build a platform for these fighters to grow an audience, to grow a base, to grow, a following, and it's not through to just, pay per view and happenstance on Showtime and expect people to follow you if you're gonna be matched up softly, you know,
What they don't
these guys getting a
understand.
cakewalk.
What they
Yeah,
don't what they don't understand is while they know what's behind the curtain, and that's cool. They know what's behind the curtain. That's cool. You can know that it's what's behind the curtain, and that's all good. But the reason the fans watch is for legacy. And if you don't have legacy fighters, guess what you don't have? Fans. And if you don't have fans, you don't have money.
Yeah.
We like, yeah, like I know that there's fighters like Derek Chizzora, for example, right? He kept it a bean. He said, I don't fight for belts. I'm not worried about that. I'm fighting for bread. And that's all well and good. But the way we look at Derek as consumers of the sport, this is a man who will fight anyone. And that's why we fuck with him. Because he'll fight anybody.
Yeah, and he's just building the fans, excitement, and
Holler
that's
at
what
my
you got to
boys on
do. You got to
YouTube.
keep
Let
them
them holler. We're getting
engaged.
ready for the fight next week.
Right.
All right, now I'm gonna go one at a time. Alexis, you
Yo,
heard that. You heard that Fox. All right, everybody, mute your mics for a second. Let Alexis go. You heard that Fox passed on the Canelo versus Plant fight. Walk me through your emotions when you heard that news. How did you feel when you heard that shit?
first I was afraid. I was petrified. No, listen, man. I, it was, I was, for it was like a little bit like, whoa, like what? And then it made all perfect sense because then a lot of other things came into focus. So basically, I believe that this kind of like just says, we're done with you. You know, like there was this trepidation of whether Fox is gonna re-up with them or not. Well, if they pass on this, then it's like forget it. Like we're done with you. You know, and the other thing is that it gets to reflect on the opportunities that PBC misses, man. It's like you can't get nothing if you skip the process. You can't skip steps in the process. You just can't do it. So
Okay.
you basically
So let me. I want you to elaborate on this before I pass it to Sancho. What steps do you feel that they skipped that are now backfiring?
you build your fighter before you build the event. You have to bring something other than just Canelo. So in other words, you had Caleb Plant there. You had Benavidez. The process would be do Plant, Benavidez, winner of them two gets Canelo. So they're always skipping a process. They always like like it's not it's so out of rhythm what they do.
It is.
It's completely there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I hate to bring up Top Rank, but Top Rank gives you rhyme and reason. Eddie Hearn gives you rhyme and reason. This guy,
Listen. For an example, and I just want to elaborate upon this. For an example, they built Teofimo Lopez from scratch. From scratch.
exactly.
And when the time came, they looked at the environment and said, we are not going to charge boxing fans for this. We can't. Not right now. The
Not right now.
PBC did charge us for Charlo versus Rosario, which was not built. Y'all didn't
Because
build.
Charlo wasn't built because Charlo didn't go through a Bubu Andrade. Charlo didn't get through. You have to do. There's steps. There are steps. There are pronounced steps. Teofimo Lopez, like you just said, Kome. What is it? What was it? Nakatani, Kome,
And then Loma.
Lomachenko. Now you can start talking about, if it wasn't for what Lopez did, we don't want to backtrack, but there was a rhythm to it. You know what I mean? And that's why the rematch, if it would have been done in a prompt fashion, would have then been pay-per-view worthy. They screwed that up because of whatever Lopez did, but maybe right now, after getting rid of Cambosos, now you can do Josh Taylor and Lopez. This, or Josh or Lopez versus Devin Haney or things like that of that nature. There is a history that people have to follow, and these guys don't do. Look at what they're doing with Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Herring. They get what's his name, Valdez. Those two get something. There's a storyline. There's a visible sequence of events, and that PBC is nobody asked for Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence.
Nobody did.
Where the hell did that come from?
Nobody asked for that shit. And the worst shit.
What people were clamoring for was Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia, Spence, Crawford.
Let me shout out these super chats. Shout out to Lou Last Uchicha and shout out to Daniel Egan, my man all the way in Australia. I remember you, Daniel. I want to pass it to Sancho, and I want to ask Sancho, when you heard that Fox passed on the fight, walk me through your emotions. What did you immediately think when you heard that news?
I started laughing, Jules. I was cracking up. I'm like, duh. And then I'm like, I can't wait to see a week of the local dummy boxing community blaming it on Canelo and Eddie because they already are. When fucking Fox is just like, we're over this shit. We're tired of this shit. Football's back. We got college football. We got the NFL. Why the fuck are we going to waste $50 million for or more and not make no fucking money? Why am I going to invest $60 million and I'm not going to get a return of 100%? They're not doing it to make. They're not doing it to make 10% of 60 million, 20. They want to make double their money.
Thank you, because it's like, motherfuckers. I say this. I think you're one of the. I think you're one of the only people that understands. You don't invest 50 to get back 50. You invest 50 to get back more.
You don't invest 50 to get back 55, 60.
Exactly.
You invest 50 to get 100 or 150.
And I say this, and I feel like it's lost on so many people that, bro, if I invest 50 mil or whatever, 10 mil, 20 mil, 30 mil, it's not so that I can make it back. It's so that I can make more. And y'all, what pay-per-view did they do that Fox could have made money? Which one?
Jules, they don't understand, like, to put that pay-per-view on, you got to get union reps that work the cameras, that do all these things, that set up the stage, that do what it entails, the budget to hire the whole staff to put on a fucking pay-per-view event. Having worked in entertainment, team. I've worked at the NBC Universal lot for 3 years. These are all union people that do the nuts and bolts of the fucking the truck that's outside, the engineering truck, doing the graphics, doing the feeds, doing the relays, the riggers, the lighting. That's all union labor. That costs money too. The whole entirety of the event is the 50 for the purses on top of that.
Thank you, because
on top of the promotion.
You know, I say it all the time that I'm like, look, there's the 50 for the guarantee, but it's all of that ain't no free shit, bro. Like, you think a motherfucker sitting there holding that camera for free? You think people getting all them seats and arranging all that ain't just printing out posters? This ain't a motherfucking house party. It's people working. You gotta pay them. And you think that it's like these guys, and it killed me, but that's just the times. You got motherfuckers that got whole channels that's supposed to be dedicated to boxing. And it's like, you adults, ain't no little kids. And you see all of this. You think all of this don't cost money, and you don't see that they're hemorrhaging money, dog. What do you think it costs to have people walking around holding a camera for some goddamn Ruiz versus Areola? You think motherfucker like, yeah, I'm gonna just stand here and hold this camera for free, and we gonna arrange all this shit and do all this for free? No, nobody invests $10 million in a fight just so that they can make $10 million. For that, then why would you invest it? Just keep it in your pocket. Then you ain't got to worry about losing it. You invest to make.
Then I asked you where my next thought went was, what's the CBS going to do when the fiscal year ends? They look at Showtime's combat sports item lines and like, okay, this is how much you guys spent. How many new subscribers do we got? How much did the pay-per-views bring in? What did we make? What is our gross profit? Oh, we don't have a gross profit? We have a net loss? What the fuck are we doing here? Let's put that fucking $60-70 million into original content and make another season of Billions or another one of these fucking shows.
Look in a situation. First, let me read the super chat. Shout out to Liam Rockwell, who says Mel Castano only averaged 400,000 views. That was Showtime's best figure since Davis versus Gamboa. Showtime's productions have been hot trash and figure show. Yes. Gamboa, how many new subscribers do you think a fight like Rigo versus Casemiro brings Showtime?
Nothing.
Nothing. And you say this, and you get people. There's literally people that want to sit there and have a whole. Look, listen, dog. Ain't nobody gonna become no boxing fan watching shit like that. I don't give a fuck how skilled you think Rigo is. That shit is bad for boxing. It is. If you're not ready to go out there and fight, it's bad for boxing. It's a
The
bad
sweet
advertisement
science of bruising.
Not the sweet,
business.
not the they hear the sweet science and they think that they think of lab beakers and lab coats. It's the science of bruising, bro. It's the science of fighting. And you running around like that, you're not fighting shit, bro. We fighting sleep. We fighting sleep harder than you fighting Casemiro.
All right, man. Jules, Rigo fighting like that in the Murder Inc. Frankie Carbo days, he'd have got whacked. Doing that fuck shit.
He wouldn't have done a shit. He would never get. He wouldn't like, bro. We're not gonna put you on no cards. You'll get blackballed fighting like that. You'll get blackballed, and that's and I don't care. Like, look, I felt sorry for Rigo when Scott and Carl and Leo. I felt bad for him when they froze him out. But that shit was 5 years ago, man. That was like 5 years ago. Here today, if that's the best you could do, save it. Keep him off of television. Nobody wants to see that shit. I don't care who feel any kind of. Nobody wants to see that shit.
If this was the Roman Empire, they would have fed him to the lions.
Yeah.
Of course. Shout out to Julito Ortega. Shout out to my brother Alexis Squad. I dig it. I got another one right here.
One more thing, Joel.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Read that super chat first. No, read that super chat. Go ahead.
M.A. Bustamante says PBC made boxing less relevant in the United States, and now they are suffering the consequences. Yes, they are. Go ahead, Sancho.
I was going to say to what the brother was saying earlier. The reason PBC didn't work is, let's be honest, these fighters don't want to fight enough to become stars.
Yes. He treated.
If you're under 27, you should be fighting no less than 3 times a year. But then fighting 3 times a year means you're getting drug tested more often, and we know what that means. The fighters don't want to get drug tested.
Victor Conti 2 years ago, and I did a video about it here on the channel. Victor Conti said 2 years ago, and it felt like he was blowing the whistle and putting Al Heyman in the hot seat. I don't think the story got the attention that it should have. But Victor Conti said that Al Heyman requested that VADA not publish the results of his fighters' tests. He wanted a gag order on, and that's where shadow ban. Like, there's more guys getting popped than probably people realize. It's just that we're not hearing about it because you can contract. It's all what's in the contract. Be like, yeah, if my guy tests positive, cool, fights off, shadow ban, whatever, but don't announce it. Do not announce it. All right. It's a WMMA Scene says someone said something this week that really got me thinking. Don King's old undercards had fights that we have to accept. Yes, if you grew up in that era, of boxing, you're not gonna stand for this bullshit because it doesn't make sense. You have fighters in their mid-20s, early 30s, they'll lose a whole year. And you'll have dickheads saying, oh, well, he young. He could. No, dog. Like, as a boxer, you have a short shelf life. You can't keep doing this till you 40 and 50 years old. So while you young, that's when you have to get out there the most because you don't have forever. Lopez losing a year over this low-ass fight is the funniest shit and the worst shit. But it's the funniest shit, too. Like, yo, you really lost a whole year over this low-ass fight? That's crazy. Motherfuckers get mad at me when I say this. That's crazy, bro.
I want to throw something to you, Jules. A year from now, what's the scene look like in your crystal ball? The American scene. Honestly, fiscally, competitively, and from an entertainment standpoint.
Terrible.
It's going to be another. I think it's going to be worse than this year.
Yes,
because when fighters see they're not going to get 3-4 million for one fight,
they won't fight. And until the next cycle gets here, you know how it goes. It happens in waves. Like Thurman, Porter, Spence, or the PBC roster, for example. that came in a wave, and that wave has been the last 5 years. The Charlo brothers, Lubin, J-Rock, that was that wave. Until the next wave gets here, a fresh set of guys that don't feel entitled, they don't have those issues. Until that set of guys gets here, you know what I mean? It's gonna get worse. Why has Thurman sat out for 2 years? Is it because there were no fight dates, or because you wanted money that just wasn't there? It's this. You wanted money that wasn't there. You think that every time you get out there, the price is set. No, the price is not set. The price is based on the market. It's not based on you, because you're not a fucking star. If you was a star, then we could say, all right, every time he gets out there, he got to get there. But you're not a star, bro. You lost your last fight to a 40-year-old man. You lost your belt, and you think that when you get out there, you got to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million. You fucking crazy. So you lost 2 years of your career because you think motherfuckers got to pay you through the nose. And now you sit, nobody's paying you anything, bro. You're not fighting. You're not fighting. And you don't get the time back. How old is Thurman now?
Want us to pay they want us to pay retirement fund.
Like, look, if it would have been Thurman versus Crawford, just as an example, as a pay-per-view, yes, I'll pay that. If it's
like not.
Go ahead. But like there's things that I find acceptable. Yeah, because your signal's going out in and out, Sancho. Your signal's going in and out.
You got me now?
I got you.
Oh, I was gonna say they want us to pay their retirement fund. Those guys moving up to 154. Garcia, Thurman, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, all these had Errol Spence. They want us to pay for that. We ain't paying for that shit.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. You could tell if you go back to, let's say, 2016, 2015, 2014. I advise all of you to do this. Go back and look at what the guaranteed purses were when the PBC first came on the scene. They were giving Leo Santa Cruz like $1 million to go out there and fight nobodies.
Yep,
and you spoiled him, because now he thinks he was a super bantamweight, right? A super bantamweight getting $1 million? Like, nah, that ain't how that works, bro. Americans don't even watch that division like that. But y'all was giving this dude $1 million a fight to fight abso-fucking-lutely nobody. So that when you put him on pay-per-view with Gervonta Davis, what was the numbers? Well, we know what the numbers was, bro. Under 200,000. How do I know? Mike Coppinger just said that this pay-per-view outperformed that pay-per-view. What did this pay-per-view do? 215, the most. So that means that this pay-per-view, this one did more than that one. Oh, so that one must have been like 170, or just a little under 200.
You know what happened with this PBC Fox getting out of the PBC business? It really just pulls the coat right of it pulls the covers right off of all these fake Coppinger articles, professing the success of these pay-per-views and the money that was being made. It's not happening. If they were successful, Fox would still be in that business with them.
Self-explanatory.
Bottom line, you don't leave something.
He is such a turd polisher. Like, the way he just describes these pay-per-view numbers is like using the terminology in excess. First of all, in excess, it describes a number that is a greater value than 200,000. Floyd Mayweather set the benchmark. He wipes his ass with 200K. Pacquiao wipes his ass with 200K.
Yeah.
De La Hoya, all these cats did.
But
nowadays, it's like they're not building momentum to get these numbers right.
Think about it like this, Virtuo. So when you have a dickhead that celebrates 200, when you have a dickhead, you'll celebrate 350. Then next year you're celebrating 3. Then next year you're celebrating 250. Then next year you're celebrating 2. You are a part of the problem. You're the reason that the bar gets lower and lower and lower. every year because you keep celebrating
Mm-hmm.
bullshit and
Mhm.
people actually believe
It's
you.
mediocrity.
Like it's mediocrity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got
And
a question
Colin,
for the panel.
Mhm.
Jules, our Capricorn brother Usyk, what do you need to see from him so he gets another competitive payday if he loses next weekend? What
What
do you
I
want to see?
what I need to see from him, and I don't know if I'm going to see it. What I've seen from him is only defense as a heavyweight. It's only been defense. If you look at it, he didn't really hurt Derek Chisora. He made him tired enough that his defense came down, and then he started going after, landing punches and shit like that. What I need to see from Usyk is a salvo where he actually hurts Anthony Joshua. Because the way I look at it, I don't know what you're gonna do with a Hergovic. I don't know what you're gonna do with somebody like that. There's guys here that are coming through like Makhmudov. I don't know what you do with a guy like that because these are big guys that they're gonna come after you. And the shit you do, it might not work. This fight is a career defining fight for Usyk, even if he loses, because we'll know what you have left if you lose. I don't know if he's gonna get knocked out. I honestly don't. But it's like if you go in there and let's say that this fight is a negative fight where you spent most of the fight on the fly, on the outside, fighting negative. You never even got to step into the pocket because you played it cautious. It was too dangerous. Bro, you might as well retire because you're going to find yourself in that situation more often than not. Our Capricorn brother, Derek Chisora, said this past week, that dude don't belong at heavyweight. That style don't belong up here. That he got, he great, but that style don't. This division is not about that, and I've maintained what separates the heavyweight division from every other division is it's the most physical. You could be a great. Look, any of you watch Billy Conn versus Joe Louis, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Billy Conn was out boxing this man for 13 rounds, and in the 13th round, man, it's over. It's over. That's the heavyweight division in a nutshell. It's you could all that fly shit, all that fancy shit. On a smaller scale, Carlos Tacom versus Derek Chisora. Carlos Tacom was fucking him up until, man, it's over. It's over. Derek Chisora was getting in. Derek Chisora in the second fight, he was getting in Dillian White's ass. Dillian White was backpedaling. Dillian White was moving and jabbing. And Derek looked like he won in the fight up until, man, it's over. That's the heavyweight division. So what I need to see from Usyk, can you really take a punch up here? Can you really? That's what I need to see. Because I haven't seen that.
That's the only thing. The only thing I think he has at heavyweight is his cardio. If he can wear the guys down and get to the 10th, 11th, and they're like, damn, I hit him, but I haven't hit him flush. And that's when he can let go of salvo. And because he's accumulated like that Bellew fight. He stood there, but it took a while. It took 8-9 rounds before the Bellew started feeling the punches.
I'll say what to put the answer more concisely. I need to see that Usyk can take a punch at this weight because I haven't. I saw him against Chaz Witherspoon, and even the shots that he blocked. This was over a year ago, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because that was his first fight at heavyweight, and that was a while ago. But I saw in that fight, even when he's blocking shots, his whole body got moved by the shot. That is not good. Your whole body got moved by the shot. I see guys like Derek, guys like Joseph, even guys like Bobic take the shot. Their whole body don't move. This dude whole body moved because Chaz connected with a shot. And Chaz, I'm not trying to knock no grown-ass man, but it's Chaz Witherspoon, bro. And you look kind of human against Chaz Witherspoon. You really look human with Derek Chisora.
He's not that elusive as a heavyweight. Listen, my Libra bro AJ, you're gonna see a balance, attack between offense and defense.
Let me read the super chat. Let's talk about Boots, man. It's 27. We'll get the Boots. Finish your thoughts, Virtuoso.
Listen, I think Joshua is gonna move him just like you said, man. He's never been hit by a heavyweight, man, and he's not that elusive to me. I feel like, yeah, he could separate himself. He could dance around the power shots, but there comes a time it's like you gotta have to sit there on your punches and get in there and truly land something meaningful. Because that's what Ruiz did to Joshua. Was able to do. I need to see that from Usyk. It can't be all this, all this fancy stuff, man.
It
You
can't.
got you got to bring it to him, and then the
It can't.
judges are not going to give it to you, man. You're in
Of
England.
course
You're
not.
in his
Of
neck of the
course
woods.
not. Of course not.
Hey,
I don't.
can,
Go ahead.
can
Go ahead, Lexus.
I because there was like absolutely no segue into this heavyweight conversation, so I just wanted to like put a cap on that welterweight thing
Mm-hmm.
and just the sadness of the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, so what's the PBC's had dominance over the welterweight division for how long?
I'll say about maybe. Let me just mute everybody's mic. I'll say it's been about a good 5-6 years, just about.
Dominance over the welterweight division?
Well, you mean that was it PBC heavy? Were most of the fighters there PBC guys? Yeah, I'll say about 5, maybe 5-4. Let's call it 5-4 because I know
that's all. So, because I'm saying 7,
that's a lot, and I don't know about
and
that.
I'll tell you why. Right? So let's cut it down. When was the we could take it from a point, right? When was the Pacquiao Mayweather fight?
2015.
2015. That's 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it was half and half, and even and PBC was like basically now Floyd. They had Floyd, and then they had all these Thurman, and they were coming up right behind him and stuff. And then Top Rank had Pacquiao, and they had the Marquezes and Bradleys and stuff like that. But the Top Rank side was waning, right? They were the older Bradley, Marquez. All these people were on their way out. You know what I mean?
And don't forget remember what we talked about the last time, that a PBC is where top ranked fighters go to die. Lamont Peterson ended up over there. Brandon Rios ended up over there.
Right. So what I'm saying is this. Let's say it's 5, 6. I'm going to say 6 years. I'm going to take it from that point because that's a good point, right? Because at that point, once Floyd beat Pacquiao, that's when, boom, that's when PBC became dominant at welterweight. Just like when Gvozdyk beat Stevenson, that's when Top Rank took over.
Agreed.
Light heavyweight. It's kind of like the same thing.
Well, yeah. No, it is. It is. That was the moment where it all changed.
Exactly. And I did a video about that, the importance of that fight, because it was the same night that Luis Ortiz was going to fight Deontay Wilder. And I said the most important, the fight that was taking place that day with the most reverberations moving forward was actually Stevenson and Gvozdyk, because the winner of that was going to dominate that division, promotionally. But that's neither here nor there. The point is this: that what does PBC have to show for all those years? Nothing. They don't have a Hall of Famer. They don't have a legacy fight. They don't have if you're gonna dig through the crates, during the pandemic, you saw the value of old fights and the reissuing. They don't. When Showtime put on their old fights, they put on old Top Rank fights.
Yep.
Right. And what's the resume of that era of boxing? What does it mean? What did it come to? For nothing. No Hall of Famer. And where they missed the boat, the most was because they had plenty of opportunities.
Yes.
They don't believe in rematches.
Nope.
Okay? Thurman Porter called for a rematch.
Look. To drive your point home, Thurman Porter called for a rematch. That's one. DeGale versus Jack called for a rematch. That's two.
Yes.
I believe personally, Harrison versus Charlo deserved a trilogy. Why? He won the first one. You won the second one by way of knockout. I think there should be a third. Before you sneeze at a pay-per-view, because remember, he ended up on pay-per-view. Before you sneeze at a pay-per-view, we need a trilogy. We need another one. Just to
Spence Porter
deserve the rematch.
Called for a rematch.
Yeah.
And people poo these rematches and trilogies, but they're the stuff of legacy.
Yeah.
Pacquiao, Morales, Barreras, all trilogies.
Yeah.
They build on the momentum of the fight. They build the fight, and whatever fighter dominates those trilogies then becomes the stuff of legend that then become a Hall of Famer. And because they passed on all those opportunities for all those rematches, they never really cemented anyone that was worth carrying the weight of, wow, this is a legendary fighter. They don't have that. They don't even have a Hall of Fame fighter.
They
You
don't.
know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
look.
Bro,
I
he's
had,
speaking
I
that.
had
No,
that
I
argument
said
the
this.
other day.
I said this yesterday about Tio and his avoidance of Loma. Like to be a GOAT, there's a prerequisite of
Yes.
having rematches and trilogies. Marquez,
Yes.
Barrera, Morales, Ali Frazier, all these cats.
Yes.
But
Duran, Leonard,
listen, let's
all of
get
them.
this clear. But let's make it clear because I don't want anything to get lost in the middle. They did a rematch for Wilder versus Ortiz too. That was not needed. They
It
did a
wasn't
rematch.
needed.
No, wait.
Exactly.
Now wait. It wasn't needed. They did a rematch. They had the fucking nerve to do Stevenson versus Fonfara too. That did not need a rematch. Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Marv. That did not need a rematch. There's moments where you can see that, like, yeah, we need another one. We need
This is what I'm talking about from the
Porter
beginning.
versus Thurman. Yeah, that deserved another one. You
That's-
see what you saw the ratings for that fucking fight? It was through the roof.
Yeah.
The ratings for that fight.
People called for it. It was such a
on
Porter
CBS.
makes for such a great fight. Porter poured it on. It was controversial. It wasn't boring. People knew, and the thing is that this is part of what I'm saying. They have no rhyme or reason or concept of what makes things great. They just
Because
totally
they're not,
miss the boat
bro.
and
Those are
give you
not
and
boxing
hand you
people.
stuff that nobody wants.
Those are
They
not
don't
boxing
give you
people,
stuff
bro.
that you want. And
That's
like, no wonder Fox said, pero que esta maldita loquera.
bro. It's
¿Cuál
not
esta
those.
maldita loquera? What's this
Those are not.
crazy
I'm
shit?
trying to
It's a
tell you,
reality
bro.
show.
Those
They're
are
trying to
not.
build reality stars.
Those are not boxing people. Those are music guys. Why do you think everything is a gimmick? Because those is music. They don't know nothing about grooming no fighter. You got 30 guys that all think they stars. All of them. Because
And
you've been telling them that shit.
Heyman did not. I just heard this podcast that actually, man, the dude thinks he's so. I don't even know the name of the podcast, but the guy comes off as like this know-it-all. You know what this motherfucker said? He said, yeah, because Heyman built Floyd from nothing. I'm like, dude, he had him at 37 fights.
Bro.
The fight that he made at 37 fight, the man was already built, man.
Bro.
The Heyman getting any credit.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this since I was on Ring IQ Facebook. Heyman gets too much credit for Floyd. Floyd, that we know his skill set and all of that, thank Top Rank for that. Because that's where that happened. That happened at Top Rank. PBC don't come into it until 30-something fight. Well, Al Heyman don't come into it until 30-something fights.
37 freaking fights. He was there for 13 fights out of his career. Like I said before, if the Boxing Hall of Fame were like baseball, that Floyd would have to be wearing a Top Rank hat in that.
No, listen. Remember Wade Boggs ended up on the Yankees? Remember that? Towards the end of his fucking career. All his famous shit, right? All the famous shit that he became Wade Boggs, that was with the fucking Red Sox, B. Cut it out. But let them tell it. Nah, man, he a Yankee, B. I ain't motherfucker. All right, motherfucker.
They give Heyman too much credit for Floyd. All he did was help Floyd buy out of the contract when Floyd was in debt to Heyman for the Jay Prince stuff.
That's it.
I give Heyman's a beautiful. Heyman is a brilliant businessman and getting people to give him money without using his own. He's brilliant.
There's a word, bro. There's a word for that. That's a scam artist.
Hey, that's the Harvard way.
What?
I can't. That's capitalism. I can't knock.
You're right.
It, Jules. I can't hate the player.
You right, because if you could lose all them millions of dollars and still get Fox to give you a budget, that's wild to me. Like, bro, I looked at get the fuck out of my office. Get
All I want
out
to
of
know
my
is
office.
that 30 for 30 when Heyman dips off with all those annuities and these fighters that don't have no fan loyalty when they're 50, 60 showing up to the fights and
We seeing it now.
guys our age when we're the same age as them, we're like, I ain't paying for your fucking little autograph on a flight. You didn't want to fight nobody. That's what's
We
gonna
see
happen.
we
These
seeing it
fighters are not
now
gonna be
with
loved when
Broner.
the
We
way we
seeing it now
react.
with
Yeah,
Broner.
Porter
way
is the
we
most loved amongst them.
yeah, the
Porter.
way we react to seeing Durant at the fight still, they're gonna be so jealous when they don't get that when they're 60 and 70 at the fight. They're
Now
gonna be
listen,
like,
this is what I'm gonna say. They get mad that they see fighters that have losses get love. It's guys that they don't like. Oh, how you like these guys? Like Oscar get a lot of love, even though Oscar's a weirdo. Oscar has his flaws. Say what you want. If you was alive in that era, you never had to wait for Oscar to fight somebody. You never had to wait. Oscar fought Trinidad. Oscar fought Vargas. Oscar fought Hopkins. Oscar fought Whitaker. Oscar fought Chop. You didn't have to wait, bro. Oscar fought Ike Cordy. You didn't have to wait. You could say what you want about what he do outside of that ring. But in that ring, you never had to beg that man to fight somebody. He'll fight. He'll give you the fight. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the fight. We're not here for Adrian Broner's rap CD. I'm not here for that. I don't watch boxing for rap.
Yo, Julius, real talk. I heard your Yankees reference right there with Wade Boggs. You know what it's gonna feel like when Crawford fights Porter? It's gonna feel like Don Mattingly in the '95 Division Series. He finally get to play in a big game.
Yo, word.
The fans are gonna be
so
excited.
man. It's very exciting. And you know what rap lyric goes to that Heyman Floyd relationship? It's kind of like this. It's like when Jay-Z says about Damon Dash, I heard you say that you built Jay-Z or whatever Hove. Well, go ahead and build another Hove.
Thank you.
That's it.
Alexis, you remember the days of Ring IQ Facebook, right? You remember all of that. You remember I used to say, if Al Heyman is responsible for Floyd, then go make another one. Because you haven't yet.
See, now
Bob Arum is motherfuckers ain't gonna like it. And I don't need Floyd to say it. I saw it happen. The same way I saw Lomachenko happen. The same way I saw Lopez and Oscar and all these. I seen him do it. I don't need Floyd and I don't need him to say it. I saw it. All right. Al Heyman is not responsible for Floyd. You know what? Floyd wouldn't be here if Bob wouldn't have saved his ass, because he did with his checkbook. When them people came to the gym, started beating the shit out of everybody, Leonard Ellerby included, who checkbook saved the day? It wasn't ours. It wasn't ours. All right.
I think Leonard Ellerby is probably the Damon Dash PBC probably.
He not even that. I think he Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak, here's money. Memphis Bleak, money, hold the shot, call a blunt, smoke a high roller.
Oh,
He Memphis Bleak. He Memphis Bleak.
All that wasted potential, man. Oh, damn.
I liked that album. That was a good ass album, by the way. But I'm an old motherfucker. But he Memphis Bleak, man. He not like you tried to use, and it's just such it's such a hack move to me. It's just such a hack move. You stole a whole stable of fighters. You using a fighter that someone else built as a figurehead for how successful you a hack, bro. You don't know nothing about you had a whole stable of young, unbeaten fighters, and the whole crop went bad. All of them are fat and happy slobs now. All of them. That's his legacy.
But that gimmick freaking worked. That whole I'd like to thank Al Heyman. Yo, dude, that worked. And let me tell you something. There is this tape, video of Eris Landy Lara. he had just beaten somebody. I guess it was his first belt or something. And they're giving him an interview or something like that. He was just like going on, what he did. And somebody came in his ear. He said, like, whispered something to him, like, yo. Like one of those dudes, some of those Watsons, one of them Watsons, I think it was Watson, came in his ear and said, and then Aristotle said, oh, yeah, I want to thank Al Heyman. Yo, it was
because
crazy,
he was building his brand. Al was, at that time, Al was building, I guess, for lack of a better word, his brand, or stamping his mark in boxing. So I'm 100% sure it was at that time it was a requisite of his fighters to do that, because to give off that image that, hey, come with the PBC, we getting money, you get treated nice. That's what they were doing. That was his way of stamping his name and sending a message to other fighters that were out there. But the reality of it is, you and I always come back to this, you're a music guy. You're not a boxing guy. And a boxing guy ain't going to fritter no $1 million on no Leo Santa Cruz. Emmanuel Navarrete is 10 times the fighter right now that Leo ever was. And Al don't pay, and Bob don't pay that dude $1 million. You crazy. I'm going to spoil him doing that. I got to keep him hungry, and I got to keep him sharp. I can't if I give him that, this dude gonna fucking crash into a tree. No, it's the same thing you do with your child. They're like, yo, dog, of course I could afford to get you every water gun in the store, but I ain't gonna do that. That's ridiculous. What have you done to earn every water gun in the store? No, if you ain't, and that's why they want Bob to be like motherfucker's father. This is boxing and this is a business. He ain't your fucking father. All right. He's a father to his own children. This is a business. You want some big bro punk ass shit with Al look out for. Is he really looking out for the fighters? What's happening with his fighters? Why Keith Thurman don't got a fight date 2 years out? Where's Gary Russell? Looking out for the fighters. My ass. I would like us, and I always go back to this. I wouldn't be surprised if on all of their contracts there is a disparagement clause that you can't say nothing bad about Al or this company, or we could charge you X amount of dollars. I wouldn't be surprised, because you doing something over there, and I don't know what it is. You doing something over there. All these guys, I know a lot of them ain't happy. I know some of them want to be able to go get money with other people, but for some reason they don't. And it's because you holding them back. I know that some of them don't want to get money with other people. I know that too. Some of them are happy to hide behind that skirt and hide behind the politics. But in a nutshell, your shit is like some slave shit. Like, you got some slave shit going on over there. That's what that is. This is capitalist. This is capitalism, and this is free enterprise. And you got guys, there's all this money and all this opportunity all over the place for them, but they don't take it. Luis Ortiz, yo, you should have been for AJ. They offered you that fight. You didn't take it, so you could get knocked out by Wilder for less money? That's the most un-American shit I've seen in a long time. Like, bro, that man is an old motherfucker with a sick daughter. Let him go fight AJ. He need that payday. $7 million? Let him go fight. Maybe he wins. And that changes everything. Nah, y'all keep him on deck for Wilder versus Ortiz too. Criminal.
And look what happened to his heavyweight stable, man. Imagine all the garbage he had over there. What's that guy, the Polish guy that kept from getting?
He about to fight on the undercut. They needed, Alexis, they needed like damn near a year and a half for Kovnowski versus Hellenius. Bro, y'all could have did that one over the pandemic. That's crazy. Y'all needed to take that long to do that rematch? That's crazy.
That was done?
Bruh, now it's done, and it's gonna go down next month. But the thing is, he lost the Hellenius a minute ago, bro. Like, y'all could have been did that fight. Why did y'all take so long? The fight lost all the steam. Like,
but wait a minute. But he had passed.
That had no steam even during the fight. He was
by Hellenius, right?
Kovnowski was getting his ass
on the AJ fight, and then ended up taking that loss.
Yeah, like the way that it wasn't direct. First, they offered him the AJ fight. He says no because we have, and this is the first story, the original story, because they tried to change it later on. The initial story was that Adam Kovnowski is set to make an appearance on a FS1 fight against an opponent that has yet to be announced. That's what Keith Connolly said. Said me and Al Heyman already have something lined up for him against an opponent that has yet to be announced. The fucking opponent ended up being Chris Arreola. So you passed on AJ and 3 belts and $7 million for Chris Arreola on FS1.
Wow.
And then after that, he fought Hellenius and got knocked out. Wow. What are you supposed to? What are you supposed to say? So you telling me that Al Heyman stopped you from getting an AJ fight so you could fight Chris Arreola? That's crazy.
I don't see why the fighters like like
that's fucking.
My God, this dude is not doing fiduciary duty.
No, he's not, and I don't think that they can sue him for it because of the legalese. I think the contract language prevents them from suing him because they sign over their rights. That's what I think is going on.
My God.
No, that's honestly what I believe is going on. You can structure the contract to where you're not liable, or where you leaving it to Al Heyman to make the decisions. Like, it's any number of things you could put into a contract that allow you to get away with that shit. But it's just crazy that you have grown men that'll sit there and watch this and still think that Al Heyman is for the fighters. That's crazy. Like, y'all motherfuckers is just stupid. To be real, like, y'all, a lot of y'all motherfuckers is dumb, dog.
You know what it is? It's like they see this, they see like a black man making it, and it's like, yo, you know what? That I'm gonna let him slide, you know, because like, yo, there's a fine line when attacking to somebody who's making it like that from the culture, but he's not for the culture. You got whenever you, unless this guy is given to a bail fund, unless PPC has a bail fund, or like he's like given to like causes, whatever, it's, you know, fixing the hood or whatever. Yeah, okay, but like don't hold him up as an example when this dude is doing shady shit behind the fighter's back.
Well, I'm gonna say this, right? Edwin Rodriguez is Dominican, and at no point in my life did I ever think that Edwin Rodriguez is the shit because me and him is the same thing. When Felix Diaz fought Terrence Crawford, I knew Felix was finna get his ass kicked, Dominican or otherwise. He finna get his ass kicked. All right, that flag flying shit, that shit clouds your judgment, and it's a lot of motherfuckers that don't know how to think critically, like critical thinking, motherfucker. Loyalty. You really know what loyalty is? Because it ain't the dumb shit you doing. You ain't nothing but a motherfucking sheep. You ain't nothing but a motherfucking sheep. That man on the TV don't give a fuck about you. That boxing promoter who dick you sucking, that man don't give a fuck about you. You ain't loyal. You a dickhead. If you move like that, for real, you a dickhead. How you gonna swear allegiance to somebody that don't? How you gonna swear allegiance to somebody that don't give you shit? Are you a fucking moron? Like, think about these dudes that got whole channels. You got whole grown ass men talking about Al Heyman like he came out with the cure for COVID. Y'all motherfuckers are dumb as shit, man. I don't, man, shit. Man, shit. Like, if that is the way that your mind operates, you deserve to be taken advantage of. You deserve it because you're a fucking idiot. That's not loyalty. That's just you're a fucking idiot. Motherfuckers don't know what loyalty is. They switch siders. When somebody got eating cereal or something, somebody mic is wilding. When Ward said that shit, they didn't like Ward. Then when Ward tried to help Caleb Plant, oh, now you like Ward. And you want to talk about loyal. Y'all motherfuckers not loyal to shit, bro. Y'all not consistent. All right. When Ward said that shit, the barbershop, oh, now y'all don't like Andre Ward. No, matter of fact, let me take it back. When Ward wanted to come after the Kazakh, oh, y'all like Ward, right? But when Ward say it's about boxing, not race, then y'all don't like Ward. But then when he want to help Caleb Plant, then you do like Ward. And you want to use Ward to berate. It's not loyalty. You're just a dickhead. You a dickhead.
I mean, did you hear the latest dumb fuckery about Canelo? He went to Fox pay per view because the zone is failing. Oh, their business model is that's it. Is it for them?
Bro, I
Like,
got a no, listen, I got a video, I got a whole video that I have not uploaded about that. That's why I haven't talked about it, because I'm gonna talk about that in a video. I'm not gonna come at that man head. Somebody sent it to me the same way it always happens, because I don't watch those channels. I don't listen to those people. I literally do not. But people send me shit on Twitter. They be like, yo, you seen this? You seen this? They want me to do a segment on it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a segment on it. But I don't want to, like, whatever bullshit garbage he uploads to his shit is up to him. All I know is it's a lot of motherfuckers that ain't even got a ninth grade education want to try to interpret business. Be fucking quiet, bro. A lot of y'all wouldn't even make it as drug dealers, let alone businessmen. A lot of y'all wouldn't make it nickel and diamond. Be quiet. Matter of fact, don't be quiet. Somebody want to hear you, right? Keep talking. That shit is wild to me. Y'all motherfuckers wouldn't make it with tray bags, nicks, and dimes. But y'all sitting here talking about this $1 million. Like, it's wild to me. The world is crazy. The world is upside down to me. These
they still think
motherfuckers.
the pay per view is a viable business, but it's like it's not. When you have the advent of the internet, right, of piracy, you're one, like you said, Judas, you're one Google search away from fucking stealing the fight.
My
What is the
guy,
point in just trying to hold up a fighter, a platform that just is not going to deliver? Let alone give you the best fights on that platform.
my guy, always use yourself as an example. If you cannot interpret the actions of others, you can always look inward, right? Hey,
Mm.
hey, Virtuoso, do you want to pay $80 to see Ruiz versus Areola? I'm just asking, do you want to do that?
Nah.
Do you want to pay?
Nah.
Hey,
I can get two
Virtuoso.
hoes for $80, man. Come on, stop.
Hey,
I got better
Virtuoso.
things to do.
Virtuoso, do you want to pay $80 to see Davis versus Rolly?
Oh man,
If
bump it
you,
down to 50. We'll talk.
that's what this is what I mean. I'm like, if I cannot gauge the actions of Virtuoso or Alexis, I can look inward and ask myself the question: as a consumer of boxing and an avid boxing fan, are these the kind of fights that I want to pay for? The answer is a resounding no. From my small intestine to my large intestine, from my coccyx to my ischium to my femur to my phalanges, no. I would not pay for that shit. So if that's how I feel, then I'm gonna ask other, yo, is that pay-per-view worthy to you? No.
Oh
Shit,
man,
man. And you got people, like I said, you got people. The world is so upside down that you have people that will take 2 and 3 hours of their day to argue with you about pay-per-views that they don't even fucking buy. That is how upside down the world is right now. It's wild to me. Like, if I go on Twitter and I say Al Heyman is a cock-sucking dickhead, watch somebody pop out the bush. What you mean, Al Heyman? Bro, you don't even buy his shit. Shut the fuck up. Because if you bought his shit, Davis would have more than just 225,000 pay. You don't buy that shit. You don't support them. You're not loyal to them dudes. Fuck out of here, B. The meek have inherited the earth, and guys like me can only look at it and laugh. Because the meek have really inherited the earth. Who the fuck
they
want to
sure
pay
did.
$80? Who the fuck want to pay $80 for that hot garbage?
God.
So
Seen people.
It's
Go
like
ahead,
they like
Alexis.
getting ripped off.
are you is Canelo plant purchasable?
I'm purchasing it for Canelo.
Okay. The other thing I think Fox might have not gotten out of that business is because they missed that date. You know, I think that had something to do with it. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
yeah. So no, you're not wrong. I wanna elaborate upon that because I agree with you. If they would have got the deal right the first time, I believe Fox would have stayed on because it would have been a Mexican holiday weekend, and that would have stimulated the buy rate if it would have went down Mexican Independence weekend.
Yes.
But y'all fucked up the deal the first time. Y'all move it to November, and it's the same day as a UFC pay-per-view. Nah, we don't want that shit. That's way too risky. That's way too risky. Why would we do that? Especially when it's the last year of the deal. Why would we stake $50 million the last year? Like, everything is wrong, bro. The whole thing, and that's how backwards they do business. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's.
How's Showtime doing this? And one more thing, I think if I'm Canelo, I want my money up front.
I mean, he's getting it up front. They got to give him the 40 regardless of whatever. They got to give him the 40. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't go over there, which is why I'm laughing. That's why I'm laughing. Because y'all created an environment where now you got to get that man at 40, regardless of whatever, regardless of what it do. That shit could sell 2 pay-per-views. You got to get that man at 40. You shouldn't have did that. This is beyond. This is the equivalent of when rappers get in advance and they think that that's money for them. No, that's in advance, bro. And that's your budget for your studio time. That's your budget for your rentals, for your videos, for your fake chains. And that's not money for you. But they don't know that. They didn't know that at the time. And they posing with it and being in a video like, you fucking dickhead. No wonder motherfuckers didn't last. You know what I mean? That's the equivalent of. They're like, yo, dog, like that ain't even your bread. Canelo, he has made an environment where you don't get to do me like that. I want all mine up front. And y'all you can handle it, right? You can handle that, right? All right, so give me that. Give me that. That's the only reason he over there. I want my 40 up front. Don't make me no promises. I want my 40 up front. I'm not one of your fighters. You could pull that bullshit on the Bronas and the Spencers and the Davises of the world. You can't do that to me, bro. I go somewhere else right now. Hardball. I go somewhere else right now.
And he's got so many fights ahead of him, man.
They think that because they got 3 potential opponent options, right? That they got leverage. You do realize there are 3 potential opponent options upstairs where he's gonna end up going anyway, and that's Uncle Bob with Artur. Golden Boy got Zerto. Matchroom got Bivol. You think he won't go over there and fight a Chris Eubank Jr. also? You think he won't do it? Bro, he fought Avni. That should be telling you
at
something.
168. At 168, Bob is practically sacrificing that kid
Berlanga.
That's a bigger fight than this Plant shit.
Listen, bro. Canelo Alvarez fought Avni. People don't pay attention to shit. If Canelo Alvarez could dead ass sit here and fight Avni, you think he can't fight Chris Eubank Jr. in the United Kingdom on Sky Sports? You don't rationalize that. They're like, yo, Sky, they staying in boxing. Chris Eubank Jr. is one of their flagship fighters. I could go over there. I could tell, yeah, man, I want to get that UK. He said he wants to. He said this last year. I would like to fight in the United Kingdom. So Chris Eubank Jr., that's not off the table. That could happen. That could happen. A lot of things could happen. Why? Because Canelo not married to none of y'all. He go where the fuck he want. And really, he earned the right to do that, which is a separate conversation. But if you think that because you got Charlo and Benavidez, that you got him by the balls, all right. All right. You think that. Them motherfuckers move like a bunch of nickel and diamonds, and I mean that from the bottom. They move like a bunch of nickel and like y'all move like a notary in the hood, like a scam artist. Like that's how y'all move. Like what's that health shit that they sell, man? What's that health shit? That Herbalife.
That's what it is. It's multi-level marketing. It's a pyramid scheme. That's what it is. PBC is a pyramid scheme.
Oh man! Wow.
Them motherfuckers is the Herbalife.
Imagine being like, boxing in America done fell off, right? Imagine a friend of yours, right, coming back, and
your signal went out, bro. Your signal going out. But that's that was the best. PBC is the Herbalife of boxing, yo.
Yo, this is so crazy, man. Yo, what they call it? The clothes fell off the. What they call that shit? Or somebody just gets. That's it. There's no more. There's no more nonsense to this. No,
like, what are you talking about? I remember going back and forth with on the Ring IQ days, the people defending, dude, the Bruce Proctors and all these. Oh no, because I hate how they do it. Like, no, dude. Like, if you just sat there and just see 3 years down the line how they're moving, it's like, no, this can't work. It cannot work.
Bro, look. I had sat there and they hated, like, bro, I think they still hate me. Like, I think that a lot of, like, all I said was fuck Lara, and that was enough for people to hate me. Like, fuck Lara. You sound like a jackass. You think Gennady Golovkin gonna come to you when he has both Canelo Alvarez and Miguel Cotto in the middleweight division? Like, you playing, like, you not serious. Like, ain't nobody gonna come to you.
Yo, they was so hyped for that fight, man. But like, he wasn't moving like that. He didn't really take the shackles off that Al Heyman put him on.
Why don't you send him a contract? Send him a contract. Send Lara. What's Lara done? Lara still hasn't. I don't think Lara's cashed a bigger check than $1 million.
Listen. I got a clue virtuoso win. There was a time when I ran a Facebook group. That's really where I started being on my boxing shit or whatever, right? Appreciate that, WMMA. Al Heyman, no different than every chick you knew in high school, now calling herself mompreneur, selling. Wait. All right, let me get back to this shit. So I started off on Facebook with a group. The group grew to about 49,000 people, right? So on there, you know, at the height of the Lara Golovkin bullshit, I'm like, and I maintain that to this day. I don't mind that fight, right? I would have picked Golovkin to stop Lara back then, but I know that Lara's not serious because you dead ass sitting at 154. You say you want him. Why would he come to you when Canelo and Cotto are at middleweight? That makes no sense at all. Nobody is going to pick you over them. Nobody. All right? So if you want him, it's simple. He has an IBF title. Go up there, beat the guy at number 2 or number 3, become his mandatory, and expose him. Just do that. Expose him. If he don't fight you, then he's exposed. If he do fight you, then you got what you wanted. It was always that simple. Nah, you stayed at 154, and where is he now? At 154. This is insane. And y'all believe this guy? No, I know what it is. What it really is he's a bullshitter, and you are like him. You're a bullshitter. That's all it is. Birds of a feather. What was that shit? Birds of a feather flock together. He's a bullshitter, and you recognize his bullshit, and his bullshit appeals to you and your bullshit. I'm not a bullshitter. I know bullshit when I see it. If you wanted him, you would have went up to get him. You don't want him. Oscar wanted Burchell, and he kept his word more than Gary. Gary said he wanted Burchell before Oscar said it. But when Oscar said it, he made good on his word. Yeah, I want Burt. And I thought he was like, you crazy. You want Burchell.
And when you bring that up, and for those people who might be hating out there and saying, well, Burchell was with Top Rank, so they couldn't make that fight. No. Burchell is Zamfir. And PBC has Zamfir fighters on there. They could make a deal at any time.
Listen, it ain't even that. Gary said, I'm not a PBC fighter. Gary said that. He said, I'm not a PBC fighter. I go where I want. I just have a good relationship with them. So nix the politics. He said that. It wasn't me. It wasn't Alexis. It wasn't Eddie Hearn. He said that. I'm not a PBC fighter. You didn't go anywhere then, bro. The onus is on you when you say shit like that. I thought Oscar was crazy when he like, you really want to fight this guy? You're crazy. I don't care what he was on, right? I don't care because that's not the conversation. The conversation is that dude said he wanted him after Gary, and he went over there and got him. Gary, you sitting here without a fight date. Fuck your career. Fuck it. Nobody cares. Fuck it. All right? And the whole stable fucking Keith Thurman been talking about Crawford since last year so that fucking Sean could get him. You can't make this shit up. You've been talking about Crawford since last year. so that Sean next year could get him. You are so fucking full of shit, man. It's some mad guys like that over. All the bullshitters is over there. All the bullshitters.
I bet you they're looking at Sean Porter's money right now, that $4 million guarantee, and be like, wow, that's a bigger guarantee. I bet you they haven't made $4 million over there, bro.
I bet you they haven't. I bet you they've made and I maintain this. Do I believe there is back end money? Yes. Do I believe it's an extra? No, back end could be extra 100,000 off the top, extra 2, maybe 5 the most. I can't see somebody just throwing you $1 million just like I don't see that. Not when Jamal Charlo can't pay for a BLT. Not when Javonte Davis is in a whole $40,000 with a car dealership. Not when Adrian Broner owes jewelers, not even car dealerships, jewelers. You owe jewelers money, like. This is kid stuff. All right? So I know they ain't throwing these guys $1 million off top, but they might throw you 100,000, 200,000, maybe 5, which, 500,000 is all right, but it ain't the way that y'all saying it is. Like, it ain't like, $4 million up front, that's more than he got to fight Spence. He got 2 to fight Spence. $2 million up front. That's according to the commission shit, $2 million up front. All right? He getting 4 to fight Crawford. Fucking Crawford, he getting like damn near 6 and 7. Damn near. But y'all want to talk shit about Bob.
Hey, listen, it's incredible, man. And the cherry on top is that Crawford does not go to the PBC because he knows the fucked up situation that's over there. And then so signing with Kinahan as his advisor,
shit.
That's basically keeps him in Top Rank's clutches and makes him available to Virgil Ortiz, Taylor, Eddie Hearn's guy, Connor Ben.
I'm so glad that you brought it up because most people don't know that my guy Virgil is with Daniel Kinahan that be killing him. They don't know that.
That's it, man. Crawford. This is what I'm. Crawford at the end of his career, it's gonna all those people that criticized him, that maligned him, that all that freaking nonsense, man. At the end of his career, for him to get Porter, which basically gives him the entire PBC roster in one night, and then to get Josh Taylor, Virgil Ortiz, be available to for this idiot to come on Regis Prograde if you can grow some balls. Mikey Garcia. Now, I wonder what excuse Mikey Garcia would have to say now. What excuse?
Mike, you know what Mikey's gonna say? You know what Mikey's gonna say? Mikey's gonna say
that fight doesn't make sense right now because and that fight doesn't make sense right now because
listen. They asked him about Josh Taylor. They asked him about Josh Taylor, right? And in one sentence, you already knew what it was. Oh, but he's with Top Rank. I dig it. So you don't want to fight nobody because all the belts is at Top Rank right now, and they at top at 140. They all with Top Rank. And what you telling me for real, is you don't want one of them shits. You don't want one.
You know what? Because Mikey Garcia is not gonna go to Bob. Bob knows who you are, nigga. You not getting $7 million from me, motherfucker. Why?
It's well out here, like look. It's well out here, like dudes is sitting around telling they self. Unless it's this number, then I. But
that I don't need you. And at the end of the day, Bob Barron always turns out to be fucking right. It's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna go make 2 more Teofimo Lopez's. Maybe once the Olympics are over, I find me another Lomachenko. I'm gonna groom 2 or 3 Terrence Crawfords. Got a Puerto Rican kid named Berlanga. I'm gonna groom. It's like Bob. Does this.
I got a Xander Zayas coming up, and I got a Lindolfo Delgado coming up, and listen, it's okay. We're gonna be all right. It's crazy.
And they don't. And these are the little things. Like they don't. I honestly believe that the best saying for these guys is you can't see the forest for the trees. Like you don't see the moves. You can't see the moves.
Nah,
you
can't
got
see them.
you can't see the moves, bro. You focus on has been, never was motherfuckers like Thurman. Like, bro, that dude at that motherfucker's height, he wasn't even all that. What's Thurman to a Cotto? What?
What
What's
was his
Thurman to a
last
Cotto?
knockout, bro? One time. What was his last knockout?
Bro, I don't think he knocked
Once
somebody
upon
out
a time.
in 4. Bro, I don't think he's knocked somebody out in 4 years, maybe 5.
Yo,
maybe 5.
Bundu. Wasn't it
He
Bundu?
didn't knock out Bundu. He didn't. Bundu went the distance.
Oh man, so it wasn't even Bundu. So what
It
was
wasn't
Collazo?
I think it was Collazo, bro. It wasn't Bundu. I know he didn't knock out Bundu because I remember because the big thing was
That he didn't knock him out.
Wow, Thurman couldn't knock out Bundu, but Spence did. That was the big thing in 2016.
Yes.
That
And was Bundu the guy that landed the body shot that exposed?
No, that was Collazo.
That was Collazo.
That was Collazo.
The body shot that exposed him for his entire career.
They talking about like oh, Danny knocked out Amir Khan. Yes, he did 7 years ago. 7 years ago. You know,
Yes.
Bradis Prescott knocked out Amir Khan in 1 round. Who beat Bradis Prescott? Terrence Crawford.
Right.
But y'all don't watch boxing, so y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that.
Hey, yo, man, let me tell you something.
Who was given a fight offer to fight Terrence Crawford? Danny Gersha. But
Danny Gersha.
No,
he didn't want to know.
Gersha.
My man Danny Gersha. He didn't want to know. He did not.
He might as well be Danny Gersha because he ain't freaking Puerto
He
Rican.
not-
Thurman.
He's not a
You had
Gus.
Porter.
He
You had
ain't-
Porter, and then the only guy that stepped up out of those 3, B class levels, right? It was Porter. Shout out to Sean Porter, man. He's the only dude that stepped up. He gave Errol Spence the best fight in that weight class.
I am more
This whole
Puerto
stint.
Rican. I am more Puerto Rican than Danny Gersha. Danny think he Cuban. Danny think he Cuban with all that Tony Montana shit. Tony Montana. Like, yo, that shit is played, my guy. That shit is played, bro. You a Puerto Rock. Won't you go say some Puerto Rican shit? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You can't. You don't speak the language.
Can't say Boricua. Can't even say Boricua.
Yeah, no Boricua, man. That dude is not fucking Puerto Rican, bro.
Crazy.
That shit is
man.
that dude is a Philly
Tú
cheese.
sabes, él no va a necesitar when you see him how he goes in the ring, man. That dude, he got like 2 left feet.
Tito Roja, ain't he Puerto Rican? Tito Roja.
Yes.
He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. The singer?
That dude don't know who fucking. That dude don't fucking know no Tito Roja, man. He don't know nothing about that shit. He trying to cut mix. I remember he came out with a mixtape.
Danny Garcia came out with a mixtape.
Yo, I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Yo, I swear to God, B.
Yo, bro.
I was like, yo, this dude is so cringe, B. Like, just stop, bro. You not and this is why I said that the PBC tried to be a hybrid between boxing and world star hip hop culture because it's just obvious the demo that you going after, and the fallacy of that is that you're going after a demo that don't spend money. You understand? These is the guys that bought Jada Kiss's album bootleg instead of doing what I did, go to Virgin Megastore and support my man. I'm gonna buy the album, right? I'm gonna buy the album. And I swear to God, like motherfuckers might not believe me. I always been that way. Like, nah, I gotta go to the store to get the album because they don't see the bread if I don't do that. They don't see the bread.
Wow.
You the guys that'll go to Tufeezy and buy the bootleg on Tufeezy. I'll go to Virgin Megastore on either 4 Deuce or 14th Street and buy the album. All right, I bought the album. Y'all bought the bootleg and then be the same cocksuckers. But it went platinum in the streets. He ain't seeing that money on the streets, though, is he? That's y'all. That's the demo. That is the demo that you went after with the PBC. That's the demo. The guys that want to the guys, listen, the guys that don't watch not one woman's boxing match but want to sit here and argue with me about Clarissa Shields.
Yo,
I bought a fight. You didn't.
If Crawford goes past this Porter dude, you know who I could see him taking a what they call that, one of those break fights, a tune-up fight with.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I could see? I could see Broner.
I believe that Broner. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but if you go to Adrian Broner's Instagram, he's back in training again, right? And he starts talking about, I might go to the zone because it just so happens that Matchroom wants to match Conor Ben against Adrian Broner, and I feel
that'd be good.
That'd be good.
Good.
The Brit, look, for whatever reason, the Brits really like Adrian Broner. They do like that fight would.
He's affable. He's affable.
Yeah.
He's a character.
He's a character. If nothing else, and
I would love to see that fight.
I would love to see, and I've said it 3 times. He needs to do that. Forget about Al. Forget about the PBC. Go do that.
Yo, go get your money, bro. Yo, dude. Al already made you fucking skip out on $40 million from Jay-Z, bro. That's $40 million he's never gonna see in his entire life. But did he ever make $10 million in his career yet,
bro? So that he could be on Instagram.
Crazy.
So he could be on Instagram showing text messages talking about, Al, I don't want to talk. Just give me my. It's wild out here. What's going on?
Wow.
And that. It's all of that shit is up on his page. All of that. He got
on
a whole
Instagram?
Yes. What? Go to AB the Wave God. You gonna see oh my God. Let me pull it up.
You gotta sell bricks, to get his money back with cash.
Let me pull it up now.
Wow. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy.
My God. There you go. When you go to Instagram, look this up. It's right there. Read it. All right. Matter of fact, I should send. Let me see.
You read it. I can't read that off my screen.
All right. It says Al on some real shit. I know what I'm going through, but at this point, you handling me like I had licks for you, sending me 1,000 or 1,500 a day. NIGGA. If I want to spend $1 million, I should be able to because I made it. I know what I owe, and I told you to pay it and get me some more fights so I can make money, NIGGA. You got me ready to go get 100, 200 pounds of weed, bruh. On God, I will never say F you, but stop playing games with my motherfucking money. Give me all my money, bruh. The other caption below the picture says, stop playing with me, bro, on God, and stop calling me. I ain't trying to talk. You can finesse or out-talk me out this shit. Hashtag fuck everybody. That was the Al Heyman, bro.
Wow.
Bro, look at what it says. You let me you see that? You see that?
Yeah, I see we see all of that.
Yeah.
Al Heyman.
It's the child support payment bills are coming in faster than them checks, man. So yeah, he's feeling the squeeze.
I've never seen no Instagram picture like that, like from Crawford telling Bob Barron to keep paying my money or
you know what I have seen Crawford say? You know what I have seen Crawford say? He said Bob is a good dude. That's what he said. Bob is a good dude. Like, don't get it. Yeah, I seen him. He said that Bob is a good dude.
Many times he said that. Even his handlers say that. They just said, "Oh, this guy, he's just acting out." But he's treated us right. He's given us.
Most people don't realize Jamel Herring, who's about to have a good fight, nice fight, win or lose. He was a PBC castaway. They don't realize that. He was a PBC castaway. He didn't become.
Say that, man, bro. Say that, man. He could have. Jamel Herring was what below freaking he's like Ramses Barthélemy type level type. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. It looked like they casted him away because he had lost. Which was the fight that he lost? I think it was the Shafakur fight that he had lost.
Yeah, Shafakur.
I think it was because I remember Shafikov. I don't know what happened to Shafikov, but he went to Top Rank and he blossomed. He got better. Skills got better. They moved him down to 130. He get down there. He start winning fights. His career gets a second win. And I'm like, I don't understand how y'all trying to paint Bob out to be this bad guy when his story's like that. All right. Nobody wanted to give Felix Diaz an opportunity. Where did he have to go for his opportunity at a title? Top Rank. Top Rank. It's what it's like, but Bob got to be the best. I can't go with these narratives. I'm not stupid, bro. I watch the sport. I'm not stupid, bro. You could sell that shit to YouTubers that don't really be watching boxing like that, and you could convince them of them stories. But I'm like, bro, I actually watch this shit. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. You saying the zone going broke? Then why are they available in 200 countries around the world? Why do they have 15 million subscribers around the world? You know the numbers is out. They have 15 million subscribers around the world with a monthly or annual subscription. But you telling me they going broke. Then why they about to buy BT Sport? It's like, yo, none of this shit.
They're gonna buy who sports?
BT
BET
Sport
or BT?
BT. That's a channel in the UK that they don't just show boxing. That's the Brits.
Isn't that where my man Frank Warren is?
Yes. But they're broke, Alexis. They're broke. Because a dude that live in his mother basement say they broke.
Holy shit, bro.
I'm trying to tell, and they've been doing this. They bought Bundesliga, I think it was last year or the year before that. They're not just folk, like, I don't know why they think it's a boxing app. It's not a boxing, it's a sports app. They show different sports. I could watch darts on that shit if I want to. All right, I can watch cricket on that shit. It's a sports app. All right. So while you sitting here telling these 66 or whatever thousand people that the zone going broke, they steady buying shit, and it's a microcosm for life. These cats that just be talking all this extra shit. Yo, look, it's people actually doing shit out there, and you just sitting there talking because they buying up the rights to a lot of different shit while you trying to tell people. Yeah, they going broke. It's I don't know, man. It boggles my mind the shit that happens in this, and I honestly feel that it's specific to this country because only in this country could you get away with being that big a bullshitter. Like it's nothing but a bunch of bullshitters. Like you really. So these people that listen to you, they don't read. They don't actually go to actual news outlets. Because if they did, they would know that you're completely off base. Like, bro, you're off base. You wildin'. You say that the zone, that he flopped at the zone. Then why did Canelo? You're saying Canelo flopped at the zone. Then why did they want to do the fight? They offered to do the fight. If he flopped, they wouldn't have offered to do the fight. When Wilder brought in the numbers that he did on Showtime, right? What Showtime said to that Luis Ortiz pay-per-view? No gracias. Nah, it's cool, bro. It don't make sense. That's what happened. Most people forget. Showtime passed on the Luis Ortiz pay-per-view. Nobody likes to talk about that. But you think the zone, like, oh my God. It's like I could go so many directions with this shit. I'm like, if Canelo's not the face of boxing, why is Al Heyman offering him more money than his own fighters? Make it make sense. He's not the face of boxing, right? He's not. I know they just said he's the most marketable male athlete last month. I know he just broke the indoor attendance record in his last fight. And I know that Al Heyman is guaranteeing him more money up front than any of the fighters in his stable. But according to you and your YouTube channel, no, he's not the face of boxing.
Oh my God.
I was just curious, like, what is how many broadcasting rights from around the world does PBC like haul in compared to what the zone does?
I don't need
not much.
How many markets are we talking?
Unbeknownst to most, there are markets around the world where the zone shows PBC fights. And these guys that can't see 10 blocks ahead of their little fucked up ass neighborhood, they don't know that.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, unbeknownst to most, there are markets where the zone shows PBC fights. Unbeknownst to most, Ryota Murata is in bed with the zone. They think he's just a top rank guy. No, he's not just top rank. I don't even know if he's a top rank fighter anymore, to be honest with you.
He is.
Because I haven't seen him since the first Brandt fight. The after the second Brandt fight, which was in Japan, he fought Stephen Butler, the Canadian kid, and he fought him in Japan, and that was his last fight. We haven't seen him since. But it's nuts to me to like, yo, and people really go for this stuff. Like you really believe these jackasses? I think you deserve to be lied to. Because you're an idiot. You'd have to be to listen to people like this. You would have to be. It's matter of fact, it's like that shit that 50 said in that video. If I can't learn nothing from talking to you, then I'm not going to talk to you. And that's how I treat this boxing shit. Like, bro, I don't listen to a lot of these channels. And unless you're going to tell me something that I don't know or give me a perspective that I don't want to listen to you. What the fuck do I get listening to you? Oh, that's why I left Facebook, more or less. It's like, yo, y'all all want to argue with me. I started feeling like Canelo. Y'all all want to argue with me. If you going to argue with me, I better be making some money out the shit. At least we could do it here. Get the super chat popping. It's wild out here. Like that shit disturbed me. That all I said was fuck Lara, and everybody got not everybody, but the admins got mad. Like, bruh, Lara's boring.
It was the same thing with me. You know, with another Facebook group. You know, with Mayweather, just slight disagreement, and you know. The echo chamber just came running after me. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, and it wasn't even that I got that turned me away from that. It was the fucking Jenny Susha thing. Some dude wanted to grift, you know, and was hiding behind this veil of, you know, of Captain Save-A-Hole. Oh, hating on me because I basically posted the video first of her, you know, grinding on somebody's cheeks when she was fucking, you know, accusing Pulev of sexual harassment or all the other shit other than the kiss. And then, you know, I get kicked out just for pointing out that she fucked up the bag.
Listen. I had dudes plotting on me. Shout out to Ray Walker because he got me hip. If it wasn't for Ray, I wouldn't even know half the shit because I stopped talking to them because I see how they move. Like, yo, y'all I see what's going on. I dig it. And it all came from me saying fuck Lara. Like, yeah, Lara, I'm sorry that you always feel sorry for these whack ass fighters nobody give a fuck about. I'm sorry. What you think? You gonna guilt trip motherfuckers into liking what you like? Is that what you think? Sweet science, bro. Can't help it if motherfuckers don't want to watch that. You getting mad at me because I'm saying motherfuckers don't want to watch that shit. I'm sorry. If I tell you now, motherfuckers don't want to see Rigo versus Casemiro.
Yeah. So wait a minute. So they plotted against you. How? What were they gonna do?
I'll tell you what happened. I was on my fuck Lara shit for a minute, and I was doing it because I shouldn't do this because I know what effect it has. I was just running around saying fuck Lara, and I was pointing a lot of shit out. That's how it started, right? So I get word that they wasn't being in the group anymore. You know how the groups were that you comment and post. They wouldn't be in the group anymore. They would all chill in the group chat, and they would be talking shit about me. Like, really? Like, why? Because I said fuck Lara? So this shit pops off with him. Who was it? I think his name was Ibn. I think it was Ibn. Ibn said some shit. He was talking shit about me, and somebody told me about it. Then he popped up on some like, yo, I'm in your state. At this time, I was at work. I was still at work, and I'm like, look, I get off at this time. Once I get off, I'll give you a spot to meet me at. So the whole time I'm at work, he talking shit. The whole time, talking shit. I get off work. I'm like, all right, I'm off work. This is the spot to meet me at. All of a sudden, he start, because of Ray, shout out to Ray. That's the only reason I know Ray Walker. He still be in them groups. He told me, like, yo, he worried you going to shoot him because you know you got to. Like, bro, I'm not going to fucking shoot you, bro. Because I got an armed endorsement. My license or whatever to work with a firearm. Like, oh, he don't want to come now. He said he too far away. He said some shit. He know he got a gun, and it's like, man, like, bro, ain't nobody gonna shoot you, bro. Like, you think I'm gonna shoot you over some boxing shit? What? Look, I was like, that shit like that.
He said you don't like the shoulder roll defense? Man, fuck you.
Nah, this is, and I tell no lies. This is what I was told. I went live in the Facebook group. I said, this is the location, the address. I gave him the address. I went to the address. I stood there for an hour. I was live on Facebook the whole time I was there. Like, look, I'm here to prove a point. I knew he wasn't gonna come, but just to prove a point, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna chill right here. I'm gonna smoke a couple bogeys and just chill. And I just chilled there for an hour. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. You doing all that shit for the internet, right? In real life, what you like, it's not real, bro. Like, none of that shit is real. All that shit is all that. When Bo pulled over to the side of the road, the video, somebody tagged me to the video just the other day. I can't help but laugh. Why, you 40 and you pulled over to the side of the road in your vehicle to scream into a phone? I'm like, yo, dog, like, that's the shit that made me be like, yo, you know what? I gotta stay away from, because these cats is just trying too hard. Trying way too hard, bro. And that shit is toxic. If I'm gonna debate and all of that, I might as well make some money doing this shit. And I'm just gonna stay the fuck away from you guys, because something wrong with y'all. Imagine me driving on I-95 to pull over to the side of the road to the shoulder to yell at a phone.
That is crazy.
It's the visual of that. Imagine me being in the car, kids in the car. Let me pull over to the shoulder because I got to argue with this dude in a boxing group.
It's crazy.
I was like, yo,
I remember that videos, man. I remember that video. That video went freaking viral, bro. I was like, yo,
that's what happens when, like, that's what happens when you get fans, right? When they live vicariously through these fighters, man. It's a sad reality.
That shit creeped me out, man. Like, I'm not even joking. That shit had creeped me out. Like, yo, you dudes is just, I don't want to get John Lennon out here because it seemed like y'all just obsessed with me. You're not combating. You're not combating what I'm doing. You feel out of your depth, so you got to try to like make it some other shit. And I don't talk that shit on no camera, so I'm like, man, whatever, man. I'ma laugh at you, and that's what I did. And he, I gotta find that video. I should post that shit here. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's fanning the flame. I ain't even gonna do that because that's fanning the flame. It is. It's inviting negativity, and I'm a very positive person. That's inviting negativity. But that shit blew my mind. Like, yo, this grown ass man really pulled over to the shoulder of the road to scream into his phone about a boxing group.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yo.
Yeah. That was a bit much.
Could you imagine you on the West Side Highway on the way to the Bronx? Let me pull over to the shoulder. That shit is wild, bro.
Yo, Jules, my brother.
Yeah, I'm about to get off, B.
Yeah, man.
Word to her.
Pleasure talking to you guys, man. Have a good night.
All right, man.